How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm very well. I've got no battery on my headphones, so I'll be just on the.
It's pretty much clear. I can hear you very well.
Okay, good. Amazing virtual background. I love it.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's cool. It
yeah.
is
It's.
cool. It gives the feeling of Dubai, really Dubai.
How did you get this? It looks really nice.
Yeah, just on the Pixabay, like the image was there. I got it from Pixabay and then just put a green screen and looks cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks. So we will be just waiting for a couple of seconds so that the other guest will join and then we will formally start. I'm just waiting for the Nosheen. She's still not here.
Hmm.
Thank you, Muhammad Jamil. We both are doing very well. Thank you so much for asking about us. Trisha, can you see the comments?
Let me check. No, I can't. Oh, comments. That's why I'm in private chat. Oh yes, hello.
Yeah.
Yes. Hello, Muhammad Jamil. Method to improve our education afterward.
Indeed, that's our topic of today, which we are going to talk next probably 90 minutes. So just hold your seats and stay with us.
Thank you for joining, everyone.
Welcome, Tahreem. Thank you so much for joining, Kasser, and other people who have joined till now. Our second guest is having a little bit trouble with joining, so we will try to let her join also. Well, probably it's time we should go ahead. We should start it. In the meantime, probably Nosheen will join us. She's having a little bit trouble with her joining and link how she has to join it. But I hope so she'll be able to manage the next couple of seconds. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining back on my channel and today's this session. Everyone who had registered himself previously by following the link, thank you so much for joining. My name is Adnan Sohail. I'm your host and moderator of today's this session. And with me today is Trisha Chapman from Dubai. Originally, she's from Australia, and we will be having another panelist, which is Nosheen Rashid, directly from Pakistan. So both of these ladies will be joining and going to share a lot of fantastic details about the overall economy, but at the same time, particularly our focus will be on the job market, because this is exactly what the question most of you people are throwing, that what exactly is going to happen in next couple of months, how we should get our new job, if you lost already job, or if it is going to be your first job. So that's exactly we will be speaking for next 90 minutes. Welcome everyone who have registered and now they have already joined. In next couple of minutes, we hope that more and more people will be joining us. So topic very much clear. You must have seen all the social media on our LinkedIn Trisha's LinkedIn, Nosheen's LinkedIn page, as well as my LinkedIn, and you must have understood that what exactly is the topic which we are going to talk: economy and job market, particularly how it is today, how it is going to be once this COVID-19 situation will be over, and what is going to be overall future of workplace, job, and how to search job. Because certainly all this incident, this is not a small incident. It is going to change a lot of things across the world. It's going to change the workplaces. It's going to change how the hiring processes work. But in the same time, it's going to change overall what kind of jobs will be in future. So thank you so much, everybody. Let me give you quickly introduction of my first distinguished guest, which is Trisha Chapman. She's managing partner of Impressive CV. So if you want to go and see and visit the website, that's impressivecv.com, which is a platform focusing on all the tools needed for a successful job application. So starting from preparing you psychologically, mentally to search a job, and after that to put together all the information on a CV, preparing your LinkedIn profile, and after that advising you, helping you, preparing you for your job interview, and holding your finger till you reach your job. That's exactly what Trisha is doing in the town. She's originally from Australia, as I said, but currently she is based in Dubai. So welcome, Trisha.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you having me on your show. And I think now that I'm reflecting, we've probably known each other for 2 years, which we've really grown since our first meeting. So thank you so much for inviting me back. It's been a pleasure to watch yourself grow as well on this platform and career development. So you're one to admire. So thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. Indeed, it's an amazing journey of last 2 years since we know each other, and we are continuously seeing on the social media. And that's actually the beauty of LinkedIn. That's the beauty of living in a small town. We can see, we can understand what our other colleagues are doing in the town. And then over and over again, our paths are crossing, and we are together in order to assist, in order to help everyone who is looking for a career, who is looking for a job.
Absolutely, absolutely. But when you say small town, I think we're close to 4 million.
Yes, that's true. But let's just to see, when we are talking about Pakistan, when we're talking about any smallest town in Pakistan, so I think so the population will be double to this one, or maybe the equivalent to this one. But still, yeah, it's great to have a lot of people who are in town, and still they are in town. So we are having an I think so Nosheen was here, and then again she got disconnected. With me is going to be our second guest of today, Nosheen Rashid. She's from Pakistan. She's HR and recruitment consultant with almost 10 years experience. She's currently assistant manager, human resources and recruitment, and at MNP Logistics. She has previously worked in bigger companies, including Lucky Cement in Pakistan. She's having all the understanding and in-depth. She's going to share with us knowledge about Pakistan's job market and what the recruitment process look like, particularly in Pakistan. So I think, Nosheen, if you can hear us, or if you will be back, we would love to welcome you again. So everyone, I think so you must be having your questions with you, which you are going to ask us, related to job market, related to economy, whether you are based in Pakistan or you're based here in Middle East, especially in UAE, in Dubai, or you are thinking, because we are fortunate that Trisha is having background and she is originally from Australia. She's having her team back there in the country who is also serving and helping other people. So I'm sure that these all you will be having information on single platform. So whatever your questions are, get it ready. And the moment when we will ask you, now the floor is open. Now the session is open to accept your question. Please keep on throwing your questions. Our second guest will be joining in a moment, but in the same time, I will ask Trisha if you would please give a little bit of your background and introduce yourself, that how you landed in this career of helping individual to find job. Because as an individual, for us, for a single person to find out a job, it's very difficult. But you are facing this thing every day because you are helping others. You have to prepare them, you have to keep them motivated, and you have to make it sure that all of your clients are reaching successfully to their job. So tell us something about yourself and your background, please.
Sure, with pleasure, absolutely. So I myself have had an industry and career change, I guess would be the way to describe it, because originally I'm a registered nurse. I still am, I guess. Once you're a nurse, you're always a nurse. I ended up doing my master's in critical care and intensive care nursing and moved to Dubai about 5 years ago as a nurse and worked in Sharjah. And then I started helping a lot of nurses and physicians where English wasn't their first language, write their CVs and resumes to be able to apply for jobs from Sharjah to Dubai or Abu Dhabi, or wanted to go international, seeking employment. And then over time, I started generating enough business to have it as my own entity. So I guess that's how I evolved, just helping people, being a nurse out of the goodwill. And then I've transitioned into this role, scaling it to I guess a sizable business, helping as many as I can through LinkedIn predominantly. I'm quite open and on a referral basis as well, and that's how I've grown. I think I'm crossing 70,000 followers on LinkedIn and generating business and helping others through that platform. And then from there, I've just really honed in on my own education to work out how the system works, because once you understand how it works, you can then bypass and make sure that job seeker applications are going through that rigorous screening process that's now in place. So I really invested in my own knowledge of how the system works to then be able to help others. And that's how I've become successful with a lot of my clients landing interviews.
That's brilliant. Well, now I think so immediately a lot of people who are thinking, and you asked me previously that can they change their career? So I think so we are having a live example with us that there is no harm. Whenever you think that you are not satisfied, you are not happy in the career which you are having previously, so you are more than welcome that you can think about it, sit with a consultant, sit with a recruiter and talk about the things. Just because life is very small and you do not have to just keep on struggling that you have taken one decision and that's whatever it is and now you have to live with that. No, whenever you want, you can join that. So great. We are having Nosheen with us. Nosheen, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you guys.
Welcome, Nosheen. Thank you very much for joining. It's a pleasure to have you with us on the session. With me is Trisha Chapman. She is from Australia, but currently based in Dubai. She's the second panelist. So,
thank you for having me here. And I'll say hi to all the participants as well.
So again, a quick introduction. As I said, that Nosheen is assistant HR manager at M&P Logistics, which is in Pakistan, a logistic company. Actually, it's a group of companies, but Nosheen is particularly taking care of the express logistics. And before that, she has worked for Lucky Cement, and overall, she has got 10 years experience into recruitment and into HR. And she will be today focusing particularly on job market in Pakistan, how the hiring process look like in Pakistan, what is the behind the scenes situation when as a recruiter they are hiring, when they advertise a job, what exactly is in their mind, and after that how they filter the CVs and how they select a good or suitable candidate. So Nosheen, will you please tell us a little bit about your background apart from what I have told? I'm sure that you must be having your own story how you landed into this career.
Well, basically, I was not like really. I didn't start off from thinking that I'll be an HR person. I started from BS psychology. Initially, I was like looking forward to move into psychology, but there we had this branch of organizational psychology, and I got interested into the HRM side when I was studying the organizational psychology aspects. And then I went on for my MPhil in organizational psychology, and from one of the like biggest universities here. And on the side, I started my career in HR as well. Initially, I was working as an HR consultant for a recruiting company, and there we were dealing with all the MNCs in Pakistan that are working at the moment. We were providing them resources from like junior management to senior management staff levels, and from there I moved on to Lucky, where I had exposure of Lucky Cement, Lucky Textiles, and Lucky One Mall that we had like opened while I was working there, and I took up the complete hiring project for Lucky One there. And from Lucky One, I went into a new venture where like we started a consulting basically, and the plan was to expand that business. But unfortunately, at that time the situation was not very good, so I had to move out from there, and I came to Muller Group. Here I am working with the courier division, and I look after the logistics, courier, and complete recruitment and hiring, all the related responsibilities for employee services, all that. And I'm conducting interviews till managerial posts. Like I directly meet with the people and we conduct interviews, and then I select them for the panel interview rounds. So I refer people to the position that as well. That is how like I got into HR, and now I'm like this is I think one of the best decisions that I took when I came into HR field.
That's brilliant. So, welcome, my both respected panelists, and we all look forward to hearing from you insights and advice on economy and job market. So, I'm sure that a lot of people have seen me already, and they know about myself. A quick introduction: my name is Muhammad Adnan Sohail. I'm from Pakistan, but currently based in Dubai. I'm a in a one word, if I'll say that I'm a learning and career advisor with 12 years industry experience. I have worked with individuals as well as with corporate clients from multinational companies to Forbes 500, where I used to offer and currently I offer learning and development solutions, and in the same time, career counseling to individuals as well as to those people who are in the mid-career or they are onto the senior position. So let's start our session of today, which is absolutely, I would say that COVID-19, the pandemic has spread, I will say that with the alarming speed. No one was expecting this is going to happen in the world. It has actually infected millions of organizations. I will say that the business has came down. A lot of economies are suffering. Million of economic activities are almost near to stand still, and as countries has imposed tight restriction, though it's now they are loosening it, they are making it a little bit more relaxed. People can travel, they can go from one place to other place, but this was something not which people were expecting, companies were not expecting, individuals were not expecting, but it has happened. So that's a reality. Now we cannot close our eyes. While people are currently dealing with this volatile economy, companies are trying to implement remote work. It means that the overall landscape of the job market and how the people will work in future, it's going to change forever. So let's ask our experts about economy and job market globally as well as regionally. So I will throw first question to Trisha. Can you please share some insights about the ongoing economic situation, how it is impacting the local Middle Eastern market, or in UAE or in Dubai? If you can share something with us.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's really important that we get out of the phrase and mindset when everything is over. Because to be honest, this is here with us for the long term. And I don't think that COVID-19 is going to have a clear, definitive finish. And I think the interconnected nature of our global economy means that the lockdown has caused broad shuts and closures, and then a lot of livelihoods are being changed, and perhaps even more poverty, and maybe even the likes of global trade has reduced, tourism has reduced, and commodity exports. So I think that it's not going to be a hard issue. Things will be tough like they were originally, which means that it's probably too early to be able to predict exactly what unemployment or employment levels will be in the next few years. But definitely, and it's unfortunate that businesses are going bankrupt, or many already are. I think, the government's printing huge amounts of money, unprecedented levels, to be able to try and support with these wealth gaps that the population is facing. I definitely know for the Middle East region, oil prices are really playing a huge impact. The retail sector has softened, which means that inevitably the job market is affected, especially when the Middle East is so reliant on these factors. So I really want to try and encourage people to get out of the mindset that there will be no when it's over, because there's not going to be a clear, definitive answer for this, especially in the Middle East region. And I just want to give one example, because everyone's saying the job market's opening, but yet I'm not sure if any of you read in the newspaper yesterday, they're saying that there might be potential decontamination happening again. So just need to be careful and be kept informed of what's happening so that we can be better prepared.
I think there is some sound problem, probably. Trisha, Noreen, can you people hear me?
Yes, there had been some distortion.
Right. Maybe there is some issue with my speaker. Noreen, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I'm so sorry for this. Okay. Looks now I can hear you. Okay. So thank you so much, Trisha. Probably you have shared insights which most probably I have missed it due to some this technical glitch of all this happening. But let me now ask question to Noreen, which is equally important. How do you see market situation and confidence of businesses in Pakistan, and particularly for us because your company is having its presence on multiple locations. So how do you see the overall situation?
Talking in Pakistani context, unfortunately, like initially, COVID had hit hard all the companies, of course. There are businesses that even had to, close down some of their units. There was downsizing within some of the organizations because their businesses couldn't sustain the COVID pressures. Plus, there were businesses where they couldn't, run the businesses online, or they don't have the production facilities. They don't have that kind of work where they can run it online. We are a services company. It didn't hit us as badly because we could, initiate the work. Like the services department could work from home. The business support departments could work from home. Then we had our courier staff that we had limited to, only the essential services for which we had to deliver. Then the logistics division was only, working for the specific lines, like for the pharmaceutical companies where they had to deliver the medication on necessity basis. But still, there were businesses where people could not, get any access at all, and they had to close down the units. But now that we have, opened up the economy again in Pakistan, and businesses are reopening, so I do see that by the end of December and Jan Feb 2020, probably we'll have, better opportunities for the candidates, as I see that many of the passing out graduates, they are facing issues here. because we do get profiles from the students who have recently passed out, and they are very worried that what opportunities would we be getting when we come into the market. And I think there is hope for these people that in the coming 2-3 months the position of industries would get better, and probably business would reopen at full scale, and they'll be able to start the hiring process right again, like it was at the start of the year in 2020. And apart from that, I think COVID has also impacted the way the businesses were practicing previously. Like now, we see that many of the businesses that usually, like previously, thought that they wouldn't be able to, carry the operations from the homes. Now they are operating from within homes, and there were people who were, actually running the operations or the services sitting at their homes, and guiding the people who were on the locations that were necessary to sit on the offices, or in their branches where they were dealing with the customers as well. And many businesses have shifted towards that. Like I'm working with a company where we had Saturdays working, but then there was flexibility till the government was not announcing any COVID related opening up for the businesses. So our managers became open that we should allow people to work from home till the government is not ready to open up the businesses. And many of them want to carry that practice as well. Similarly, if we look the culture here in Pakistan, within the services industry or in the IT sector, we did see already that people were practicing the work from home or flexible hours. But in other industries, in manufacturing, there was no culture of that. But the managers had, developed a way out when COVID hit, and the government closed down everything, and they were told that they can't open the businesses without these precautions or without taking these SOPs that they have to follow. So if they could do that within those, businesses do understand that they can carry it in long term as well. And now the lives of people have become easier to this extent that if I'm someone who needs a day off from my work, maybe I've become a new father, and since we don't have any policy for giving offs to young parents, maybe they can take work from home for some, and they can relax at home, give time to their children, and be at work as well, like support the work activities from home. So there are new avenues that COVID has opened up as well. As long as the business situation is concerned, of course, that is going to take a bit of time, because the businesses are opening up. They are in the recovering phases. The revenues that they have lost, they have to get back to the track where they had lost when the COVID had hit and businesses had to close down. There is this question from Miss Hadifa. She's asking that
Yeah,
she
Hadifa has a question. If probably Noreen will be the best person if she can answer that. Please tell me future plan. I'm doing BS Mathematics 5th semester. What will I do for great opportunity in job and better future? So, if you can, Noreen, give some information to Hadifa.
Hadifa, for you, I'd advise that since you're in the 5th semester, you still have 3 semesters left, and that is great opportunity that you can explore the market and find opportunities. That would be like, first you have to understand what kind of career you are interested in. Like being a mathematics grad, when you come out, there is like different organizations need people who are good at analytics, who can run the numbers and play with them, and those people are required in all area within the companies these days. If you get into the market, you'll know that. So the first target that you should have at this stage would be rather to look for internship opportunities, search the businesses, try to find out places where they need mathematicians, analysts, and go for internship opportunities in these organizations. It doesn't matter if it's a requirement of government or not. That would be a plus point for your own career. I've seen that many students don't take up internship opportunities these days because they think that this is not a course requirement, or I'll pass the degree, or I'll get it without going through the internship. But later on, when you get into the market, that hits you at that time, because you are not aware of the market practices. You've never seen a corporate office. You don't know how to do interviews or anything. So instead of just sitting home, you should take the time that you have to find opportunities where you can work with real people and know what kind of opportunities there are in the market for you being a mathematics grad.
Right. So thank you. I believe that Hadifa, you have got some understanding what Noreen was saying. So let me ask my next question again, going back to Trisha. Uh, Trisha, apart from Middle East, because again I'm saying that you are having some background in Australia, and you can probably give us insight that we clearly can understand that Australia is facing its first kind of recession in almost last 30 years. We have seen this bushfire incident, and after that this coronavirus pandemic. So how do you see post COVID-19 in economic activities in Australia? Because a lot of students from Pakistan and as well as from Dubai, Middle Eastern countries, they love traveling to Australia. They go there in order to study, and after that, a lot of people love making Australia, Melbourne, Sydney, and other places their second home. So, can you please tell a little bit about what is happening back in your country?
Absolutely. So, without being biased, and it probably is, but Australia does have one of the best healthcare and education systems in the world, which is probably why a lot of people want to migrate there, because, or study there, I should say, because if you do your degree or bachelor's or master's, it's recognized internationally. So that being said, we do have high intake of international students and international work, because the taxation system is also very healthy. I mean, you don't have to pay for a lot of things because you're paying higher tax. Unfortunately, I hope you can still hear me. I can't see anyone, but unfortunately, like you mentioned, Australia is facing a recession at the moment, whether it's really globally announced, but unfortunately it is happening. They've also closed the borders in between the country itself, which means that even myself and as an Australian citizen, I'm facing trouble to get back home. There's literally no flights, and they've capped at really low levels. So I really don't foresee in the near future many people being able to seek employment opportunities, because even as an Australian citizen, I'm facing difficulties getting home. They've also launched 2 government initiatives, being a job keeper and a job seeker payment incentive. And what that means is the government is literally paying businesses and job seekers money. I think it's about $750 a week to make sure that they're looked after without employment. So those who aren't employed are actually still getting paid. Now, whether I agree with this or not is another matter, but it just means that it'll be so hard, and that the government will probably be looking after those people already in the country for employment rather than bringing new people in for some time.
I see. So all those people who ever asked me in last couple of weeks, how is the Australian market, if they should go there in order to hunt job, or some people even most recently asked me if they should get there on their student visa and complete their education, and after that they should see what will be the circumstances. So of course I will say that Australia is one of top countries where you can get best education. If you are literally looking for education, there are a lot of Australian universities. You can go there, you can study there. But in order to get a job, if that's your objective, then probably you'll have to hold on for a moment before spending a lot of your money, and then see what will happen in next couple of months overall across the world, and then you can take your decision. Right. So, Nosheen, how did you see job market in Pakistan, especially if we'll talk in last 2 years since the new government took over, and we see that there are some new policies towards the business, and government is giving a lot of incentives to people to come back to the country and search job inside the country. So what are your thoughts that what's happening there in Pakistan? What kind of jobs are available?
The government did introduce like several policies where there are certain industries that they are focusing on at the moment. Like there were these projects when I was working with the consulting industry. We heard of like the steel industry that it is going to boom in the coming years. Then there is a lot of focus on the logistics industry as well. The Gawada port is opening up. Just 2 3 days back, we were hiring people for our Gawada branches as well. So as the business opportunities are growing in these sectors, ultimately once Gawada ports open up, there would be other businesses that would be booming as well. Like the hoteling industry is going to boom because there would be investors and people coming into Gawada. Then there is logistics industry, which is already there are several like large organizations which are entering into the logistics already. There is the CPL group that has entered the logistics. Then we have several new projects coming up, like the Sabil project started, where they are providing traveling services to people. So several organizations are coming in the industry right now. But the job market is of course very tight at the moment because there were several industries that had to downsize as well due to
Mm,
COVID situation. Industries which had to let people go off the jobs. Even there were companies which had to release at least 200 to 300 people at one time. So when this number of people are coming out of the jobs, ultimately the job market is going to get saturated, and the opportunities for youngsters are going to get lesser and lesser, because when I'm searching for a profile as a talent person, and I'll see someone who has 2 or 3 years of experience in an industry, and they know some of the stuff that would be a requirement in my job. Probably I'll
mhm,
prefer them over someone who's just come out of university, and they'll probably I'll have to invest on them for 2 years, and then they'll learn and be able to carry the business with us. So the talent people's thinking at this point in time is to provide opportunities to the people who had been let go of by the organizations where they were working previously. And right now, the HR community is trying to support these people and bring and develop opportunities for those who don't have jobs at the moment. Then there is blue collar, where workers or the people working at lower grades, where they take up the manual work jobs. They were released from their roles as well, and I think there should be organizations that should look towards that as well, to cater to that market and develop some new crowd funding projects or something where these people can be utilized as well, because we as HR do think about the white collar people, that we should provide them jobs, or we should create opportunities within the offices for these people. I have CVs of people coming in who would be like, they work for 10 years at a several at one role, and then they'll be like, "आप मुझे कोई, if there is some junior position, if you can offer me that, please give me that, because I have to run
mm,
my family and I have to then run my house." And they are ready to work on much lesser pay than what they were getting when they were properly working at a job in their industry. So there are several issues that we are facing right now, and the government is trying to support it at its best that it can provide to the companies. But of course, we all know the economic situation of Pakistan, and ultimately it's the businesses that will have to stand up to it themselves, and create more opportunities and growth potential for people. And
mm.
the one thing that people do expect from the government is, of course, to support the new businesses, because once the new industries start booming, then they will be able to create opportunities for the people, because the businesses that are already existing, they are working on full potential at the moment.
Interesting. So, if any one of you is at a point that he's looking for a job, but in the same time, if they will see that the government is having some easy policies or ease of doing business, and they are giving people this opportunity, that they should think about setting up their own business, whether it's a small company, whether it's a small solopreneur. So, I think so. This will be another channel which you can open to do your own work, to become your own boss instead of just looking what's happening in the town and if you could get a job from other people. So it's a good thing that government is pushing people and giving them this opportunity of doing business. Uh, Trisha, a lot of viewers from various part of the world. They are always interested to come to UAE, especially in Dubai, because there is a lot of fascination when we talk word Dubai. Some people even have this misbelief that there is a lot of wealth here, and the moment they will land into this land, there will be shower of dirhams on that, which I don't think so. It is in actual. But how do you see the impact of Corona on local job market, and what are the hiring trends nowadays?
Definitely airline industry. Obviously, with the international travel, the likes of Emirates, thousands of employees, Qatar Airways, thousands of employees made redundant, which means that they're now available for customer service, hotel industry roles. A lot of them have got meaningful experience, client experience, which means that the job market is saturated with this type of caliber of workers. I think obviously hotel industries are extremely affected because tourism isn't here, so it all does filter down. It's a service industry sector which it's going to it's job losses as tourism reduces. However, there definitely are sectors that are hiring. Unfortunately, the largest hit, other than airline and tourism, is the HR sector because there's less hiring happening. So I will be looking out for software engineering roles, so the likes of mobile developers or full stack developers, the back end of coding, for example, a lot of people go digital and physical back end of cloud infrastructure, even cybersecurity type roles. So I think it's important to be upskilling yourself into these types of business analytics and data analytics type services. Another factor I think which will happen is cleaning. Obviously, like deep cleaning, disinfecting type businesses or services, even consultation. How do we best sanitize our workspace or our service area? I think these types of work without a doubt
Right. So let me just take a couple of questions because a lot of questions are coming up. So let me just take one starting from up. Yes. So the question from Wahab Speaks is, please tell me about how can important thing in the future after pandemic. I'm a student of BS English Literature and Linguistics. Please tell me about advice how doing well job. Well, what I maybe who will love to take this question? Maybe Trisha, if you would love to. Okay, cool, go ahead.
You answer, but I think that specifically within Dubai itself, teaching is reduced. The number of teacher demands is reduced because expats are leaving the country, going back to their home, which therefore means that children are no longer requiring education here. In that being said, things now differ. So you need to be able to not only run and have the software to be able to run teaching, but have the teacher upskilled and know how to deliver the content. So maybe train the type approaches are going to be happening. We need teachers to teach our teachers, if that makes sense. But obviously, education is always going to be there. It's just the mode or methodology of delivering it.
Right. Another question, probably Trisha, maybe you are having some background in that. It looks like. So I did BS in genetics and 1-year diploma. So which kind of job will be suitable for me? Any idea which jobs they can do?
So many thoughts you can do study oncology, genetics and oncology. You can be doing gene sequencing, pathology. There's so many different domains. The world of genetics and profiling. Yeah, there's lots.
Right. So Nosheen, clearly number of job openings are lesser, and as you have uh, just a moment ago, you told us that the candidates are more, jobs are lesser. So, what do you advise to the new graduates? Because unfortunately, people who are just graduating in this time period, maybe those people who previously were on job, they have seen ups and downs. They have seen that how it is difficult to find the job, and then from moving from one job to another job. But let's talk about those fresh graduates who are just coming out from their university, or maybe in next couple of months they are coming out, and they will be have they probably will never anticipated that this situation will be waiting for them the moment when they will come out from their university holding their diploma or degree. So what do you advise to the new graduates how they can land jobs successfully, especially I'm talking about the first job? How, because as I said, that they're having a lot of expectations from the market, from the industry. And I clearly remember that when we were growing up, we were studying in the university. So our teachers, our professors, they were giving us a lot of dreams that when you will come into the market, there will be a lot of jobs, you will be the boss, you will be the manager. So managing their expectations, but in the same time, how they can land to their first job successfully. Please, if you can give some advice to those people.
I think one thing that we Pakistanis lack is, developing our survival skills. Um, Here, people focus a lot on, getting the dream job right away. Once you've passed out, you want to be the manager sitting at a seat. Like, I sometimes get to, talk to engineering background people, and if it would be a field-based position, they'd usually tell you that, we've studied in such and such university for so many years, and we did not do that to, come and sit at an office where there would be just one, roof fan, and we have to sit under that and work with the blue collar people who have no degrees or anything, and we'll be managing them. That is not like the jobs that we had dreamed of when we were going through our projects or, going through the universities. But this is one learning point that our society needs to understand at the whole, that you have to start at some point. The thing that I see lacking with many of the young pass out students is that they are not ready to start off, even like lesser, at a lesser opportunity that is not suiting to what they had thought about the job they would be working at when they pass out. So the point is, you have to, get into the job market first, start employing some skills, start learning how the organizations are working, and then you can move to that same organization. Even like I myself, being an HR person, I prefer people that are working within my company. They might be working in, one department, and we have position in another department, and we if we find out that there is someone who has such and such qualification that would match this position more, we prefer those people and we try to get them there. But there are people who don't want to get on a job role that wouldn't suit what they wanted to get at. And another problem that I see with the students is they don't research the organizations where they're applying. Like sometimes I advertise a position that would be, I'm working in a service industry at the moment. And in our industry, we don't need engineers as such for any of the positions that we have. And sometimes when I advertise a position, there would be students who would be applying, and they'll be engineering background people, and they'll even ask you that, why don't you shortlist us for those positions? And then if I talk to people one to one on LinkedIn, or if they are emailing in my inbox, sometimes I reply to those people as well. I tell them that I, being a recruiter, I know what kind of profile I'm looking for, and you are an engineer, and this position is not going to suit your profile. So it's useless that you will start your career in an industry that won't suit you. So first, the students need to research what kind of organizations and positions they are applying at. If you are a engineering background student, you should know that manufacturing or such and such industry would be the best suitable place for you to start your career. Start at any level, maybe get as an intern over there, maybe you can start as an MPO, or if there is some junior position that they are offering, maybe that is not for an engineering student. They need a diploma candidate at that moment, but you can join for that as well, just to learn. uh, the concept of learning we lack here. Although we know that the job market is bad, although we get to hear the news that industries are downsizing, the businesses are not growing at the rate at which they should be growing. There are no new businesses that are flourishing, but still we keep stuck to the notion that this is the job that I want to do, and I'll not do anything unless I get this job. I, being myself a psychology student, I didn't find any opportunities in HR right away. I had to, start off with a teaching job, get into research. Then there was this very junior HR position at which I started off, and I worked there for 1 year. I knew that taking this one step back is going to help me to go ahead later on. So you should keep working on the dreams that you have, the organizations that you want to pitch, but just don't stop the process of learning. Get somewhere, start working at some position at some level, and get some exposure of how real organizations work and how what are the practices there, how you have to appear for the interviews, what are the expectations of the managers when they are hiring. There are many young students, they come into the interviews and they know nothing about the organization. I don't know, किसी ने बताया, someone told me that you have this opportunity, so I just threw away my CV. And then they'll tell you that no, I'm not interested in this position. Like there are people who actually come to the interview just to tell you that they are not interested in this opportunity. There was something else that they were looking for. And we being recruiters, we have to give time to everyone. Like, people think we don't go through the CVs or anything of the sort, but we do. We look at every profile, we assess it, we check if it would be suitable for our position or not, and then we come to a conclusion if we'll be offering them a job or not.
That's interesting. So that's leading me to one thought and also question to both of you, but maybe Trisha can start answering that. Trisha, Nosheen, what she told, that a lot of people, they are applying on wrong position. Like, their education is different, but they are just hungry to get the opportunity. They want to get a job, and then they apply for that. And then when they are not getting any response, or they are not being called, then they get frustrated and they say that, look, I'm trying my level best, but there is no job in the market. So can you please tell us that what are these mistakes which people do, and then there is no result, or result is zero for them? So please tell us something.
Yeah, this is a very good question because I address this on a daily basis. First of all, maybe I could just give my, because it might actually be opposite to what you were thinking. Because I think that you don't have to have the same education from what you're applying for to what you've got. I think so long as you're right, that's Nosheen, you said, make sure you know what's requested of the job description. But it's okay. It's fine to be applying for a cross-sector, cross-functional role. It's so important to make sure that your resume matches the job description. So don't be using one CV for 100 applications. Now, I know it's time-consuming, and I'm working with clients actually applying for jobs with them on their behalf, working with the CV, tailoring it to every single application. And trust me, it takes time. It's a full-time job to find a job, so you need to treat it like that. Now, what I mean by this is the skills section of an LinkedIn. You need to go and find out what skills are being requested on the advert itself and insert those, integrate them into your CV. Look at the job description and look at where it says requirements or must-have or expected expectations, and use those words. There's a website called jobscan.co. I can put it in the comments if you want. It's a free tool where you can copy the job description into the text box and copy your CV, and it will give you a match, a compatibility match. But every CV you need to be tailored.
Right. So let's take here a couple of questions. One question came up asking that what type of skills and education is required for human resources, like in order to go or make a career in HR. So if you can, Nosheen, tell to Hadifa what she should study.
Basically, I'm like discussing more in Pakistani context how we are doing things. And for HR, I've like there are 2-3 channels through which people get into HR. Either you can get into commerce, you get a BCom qualification, then you enter HR at a very junior position where you learn. They'll give every little bit of work to you. You will be kind of the company's office boy where they'll be handing you over the papers. They'll give you every task within HR department, but you'll get to learn.
Hmm.
And then you can take up an MBA in HRM. That is one channel. Then if you take BBA HRM, of course, that is like another channel, or the proper channel if we call it, because that is one qualification where you actually get to pick up HRM as your subsidiary, and you can learn it. And then one division of which many people don't know in Pakistan, that is psychology. In psychology, we have this organizational psychology branch where you learn about HRM practices, and we talk more about the strategic aspect, although in psychology or psychological aspect when we talk about that. But still, that is one part or one channel through which you can get into HRM. There are many people working in HR right now who have psychology background. Even like for MPhil, when I was working, there were many working, I was studying HRM, organizational psychology. There were many working people who came into the psychology department just to get the MPhil organizational psychology degree, because they thought that there were certain skill sets that they required which they didn't have in MBA, and they were offering those like courses and those skills in the MPhil coursework. And since those people were working in the fields where they needed to develop that skill set, so they came in for the MPhil psychology program. So that is another channel through which you can get into the HR field if you are interested in that.
Hmm. That's amazing. Here is one question from Muhammad Jamil, and he's asking, which is better, a job or a business, and how to generate business idea and work on without any investment? It's a super interesting question, Muhammad Jamil. Uh, I would love giving you few of my thoughts on it, and after that, if Noreen or Trisha like to answer this question. Well, I personally say, and always I recommend to people that working for yourself, that's the best thing. You are having a lot of freedom as you want, whenever you want, wherever you want, and whatever you want, you can work on that. You are boss of yourself. So that's the amazing option. And now considering the situation, when we are clearly seeing that the number of jobs are lesser, number of candidates are more, there is a huge competition for single job, thousands and thousands of people they apply, and after that through ATS and then interview stage, and then like there are very thin chances that someone will get selected if you are not following the proper way how you have to search your job. So number one thing that always I will admire, and I will, my vote is for the job, for the business, that if you want to do something for yourself. Now second thing is that how to generate idea, that mainly depending upon a couple of things. One, what you are passionate about. Let's say if you are passionate about cooking and you want to make your restaurant, that will be the best thing. Let's say if you are passionate about the information technology and about the computer, and you can help people related to that, you can make some shop or small business of that thing. For example, you are good into teaching and you love doing teaching, that's your passion, you can make that passion your profession. So idea is not something which is good, or one idea which is good for everyone. It depends upon person to person, what is your passion and what you can do. That's very much important. So you need to ask yourself a couple of questions: that what you are good at, what is your strength, what if you will do that is going to motivate you more and more, even in the beginning, if you are getting a lesser amount of money as a reward or as your financial benefits. So depending upon that, I cannot say that, okay, go and make one business ABC. Let's say make your restaurant. So who knows that you don't like cooking, you don't like eating well. So why should I give you this kind of idea? So it mainly depending upon you. Well, the last part, when you're saying that without any investment, come up with the idea. If you are having a brilliant idea, there are a lot of investors. There are companies in Pakistan, there are companies across the world which can which can inject money into your idea, into your business, and you can run your business. So come up with the idea. So I think so all these three things are related to each other. Business or job, business is good. What business should be, what is the idea, you have to work on it and make idea in a way that there will be someone interested and say that, oh yes, that's amazing idea, I will put money in that, you will work for on that, and let's enjoy the benefit together. So that was from my side, Mohammed Jamil. I hope it was helpful. Trisha, do you have any idea, because you are running your own company? What do you say, job or business?
100% business. I mean, I know that it's nice to rely on the salary that's going to be coming in on the 25th of every month and not have to stress. But exactly what you're saying, that we've got financial freedom. You can direct it to go, you can scale it if you can. I think my best piece of advice would be the planning. Make sure that you have got clear strategy in place and that you're, really watching, especially if you've got no investment, watching your financials so that you know exactly where you are, where you can progress, and making sure that you're not going to the negative.
True. Very good. Trisha, now a question is coming up, and that's people are I think so they are running out of their patience. They really want to ask that. Okay, let's see that after a couple of months, this pandemic situation will be over. So what we should do, how we can search job. But before answering that job, I'm sure that right now, if we are talking about today, still there will be some companies in the town, still there will be some roles which are open. So if you can like give us some idea, people who wants to travel from other part of the world to Dubai. So how is the situation? Can they travel right now in order to search the job? And if they can travel, what kind of jobs our companies are hiring at this moment? So if you can help to those people.
Yeah, good question. So yes, you can come to Dubai. If you can be on a tourist visa and still look for employment. However, I think that your best chance is a network. So one of the days now where you can just walk around and hand in a CV, from that expect that you will be prior to frequent meetings. I will be honest, I think it will be tough if you just get up here and start from scratch. The days of probably there are a couple of walking interviews going, but probably look on the likes of, for example, Dubai Jobs Hunt. They've got a nice Facebook page to offer what jobs are WhatsApp groups, like jobs or chat around. There's so many different avenues that you can explore to your network before coming, which is, I would strongly advise, on top of having a good CV and a good LinkedIn profile. Very sorry if you asked me that. To be honest with you, beginning to rehire slowly. I want to be cautious here because, again, I don't know if another lockdown is going to come. So I don't want to go and say that X, Y, and Z are hiring, and then in 2 weeks we have the second lockdown. So I'm just a little bit cautious because, to be honest, no. I know it's not.
No, Sheen, I know that people are having these complaints. There are no jobs. Are these HR people? They do not want to give me job. But in the same time, HR or recruiter, they are having this feeling that they are not getting the quality talent. People even don't know how to write down their CV. People do not know what is exactly the procedure to follow when they have to search a job. So can you tell, with reference to Pakistani market, that what as a HR you are looking for when you hire someone? What qualities do you see? What kind of soft and hard skills do you see? And what weightage do you give to their CV and their interview in all this process?
Well, basically, when we start hiring, there are two kinds of positions on which we are working. One are positions that are for junior management staff. I'm talking about the MTO staff or the officer level positions that we are filling in. At those levels, we usually prefer people that are qualified, and they have a degree and they're looking for a job, and if we have to train them for some period, we are ready for that as well. And of course, the salaries are lower on these positions, but then again, the purpose is to bring in new people, train them, develop them, so they they can take those job roles in future, and we can grow them in our organization. The other side is the senior management positions. Like, I'm talking about more of assistant manager or senior executive levels, and then onwards to senior managerial grades or C-suite positions that a company requires. So when it comes to those positions, the potential screeners that I, being a recruiter, look for a senior position, first it's the experience. And when I'm talking about the experience, we prefer that the CV has all the details, what someone was doing in an organization. There are sometimes people who give in the CV, but instead of sharing their CV, they share the profile only. So in their profile, they just have the details of these are the roles on which they worked, but they don't give the JDs of the role on which they were working. The issue that we face being a recruiter with that is different sectors and different organizations have different kind of job roles on similar titled positions. Like, there was this one position which we call area manager in our organization, and within FMCG industry, that position is area sales manager. Now, when people apply for that position within that industry, and if they are from the same industry, of course, their experience matches. But when it comes to my industry, the area manager has certain other responsibilities that are not related to sales, and I look for people who have an all-rounded experience, and who manage teams with operational side as well, who know the sales as well, and then they've looked the business support functions as well. So when I'm screening profile, if someone has not mentioned what kind of work they were doing in the previous organization, I can't understand without going through their JD, which is a requirement when I'm looking at the CV. So when people are mentioning the experience, it's very important that they bring in the complete JD. Then what kind of teams they were managing, if that is mentioned, it's even better. What kind of numbers they've dealt in, like if I'm going through sales profiles, it's very important for me to know what kind of business volume that person was handling. Because if I'm for someone who has to manage 1 billion business, and that is an example, and they were handling only $1 million business at the company where they were working previously, so automatically would become useless for my company, because the difference of the volume is very huge. I need someone who has built with that kind of volume when I'm looking for a person with my company for a senior position. uh, Similarly, sometimes the other thing that people miss out in their CVs is what they had achieved while they were working at a senior management position. That is also an aspect when a recruiter goes through the profile, they look at what were the achievements when you were working within an organization. If you do mention that, I started a new project, what were the outcomes of that project? How did it impact your company? So bringing on those achievements within the CV, that gives an edge to the profile overall. Then the second aspect is the educational background of the person. Of course, that is also sometimes requirement, because if I'm working, a group of people who are all MBAs, so my preference is someone who has done a master's level qualification at least. Because if there are people that are qualified at the lower grades, and I bring in someone who has no relevant qualification, or who has no idea about the field on the top, then that is going to be a problem. Because if someone working at a junior position is going to teach that person what the education requirement is for that role, then automatically they'll also get disheartened that we have this qualification, and we are working at a junior position, and someone has been who has no probably like this related qualification and anything, and company just brought in them based on the experience. Sometimes we do have to do that, that there are people who have very like extensive experience in a certain field, and they are very senior profiles, so you have to let go the educational profile, and you come like you base the hiring on the experience only. But then again, there are people that are already working with us, and we have to see how that would be impacting them as well. Apart from that, the skill set is very important. What kind of skill set you have right now? Like, what is your knowledge? What kind of skills you have? If there are any special, tech related that you've done, because sometimes you can have people if you are already working on an upgraded technology in your organization, and you know that the person that would come in needs at least 6 to 1 year of training on that certain software. So the organizations also need information on those aspects these days. Like sometimes the managers tell you, especially when you are hiring for IT department, they tell you that these are the certain technologies on which I need the person should have experience. So we check all those details on the CV, and then we decide if we have to call the person for an interview or not, and if it would be useful or not. Because I, being a recruiter, might call in 100 people, but the manager who's sitting there, he can't interview 100 people. It's ultimately the best 5 or 7 people that he'll be meeting up, and then making a decision what kind of person he can take for that job. And apart from that, a very important aspect is any other personal attributes that can be positively impacting the job. People don't mention that a lot. We have this interview assessment form in which we ask people to give us their three best traits and the three things at which they lack. And sometimes people don't fill that out. But for certain positions, that's very important. Like I talk about a very junior position, that is cashiers. We hire cashiers in our organization, and in other organizations, usually like the cashiers work on regular working hours. They come in at 9, they leave at 5:30. They don't have to stay back late or anything. But in our organization, the work nature is so of cashiers that sometimes they have to stay back. They have to deal with all kind of staff that is coming in for the cash submissions, and there are cash shortages as well that they have to deal right away. So if it's a person who's very shy, who's not able to talk to people, and they don't tell that in the interview. Like we had 2 3 candidates who came in, they were like, I'm handling cash, all this, I'll be able to manage the shifts, I know how to deal with people. They told everything on spot. But when we hired them and they were sitting on the job, they were not able to talk to people because they had like always dealt at the back office, and they were not into that kind of job role. So the personality traits or some attribute of your personality that might positively contribute to the job, if you add that, that can strengthen your profile. When a recruiter goes through it, it will make it easier or more attractive to them, that this person has this additional capability other than the skills that they possess. And we might like, there are many people that you call in just because of that, because you see something in profile which is telling you that they are trainable, or they have the certain skill that you require for a position, and you want to call them in to at least see that if they'll be matching the requirements of your job. So that is how we usually go through the CV, and people think we don't, but we do go through the CV.
That's interesting. So when we are talking a lot CV, continuously CV, I think so I should go back to Trisha because she's master on this thing. Trisha, can you please debunk this myth? CV writing, what is this CV writing? Why people think that some people take it just for granted and they think that they are the best one and they can, whatever they will produce a piece of paper that's going to be accepted. And some people really, they overthink months and months just in order to produce a perfect CV. So can you please tell us that what exactly is a perfect CV? What is an impressive CV?
Thank you for the plug there. But definitely, you need to have executive company. So, a profile, elevator pitch, as we call it, 45 seconds, summary of your career and your snapshot. Remove objective statement. No employer wants to know what you want to do, where you, what you want to do. They want to be able to showcase what value you want to organization. You'll have a profile summary with your contact details, then clearly identifying both hard and soft skills that are matching the job description. So you can list those in bullet points or a couple of rows, but making sure that it's all neat and tidy. that it's all aligning. Don't be using big blocks and big tables because it's not ATS compliant. It's important then to showcase, if you're a graduate, your education. Otherwise, if you're not, put the education down the bottom of the document. Your work experience, so your title, job title, your employer, and the dates, including the month and the year. And then 5 to 6 bullet points that are achievement based. So you really want to be showcasing numbers and metrics within your work history. So if you're in sales, you would want to be showcasing that you met your or exceeded your budget by 5% year on year through doing X, Y, Z. Maybe in marketing, you had new market penetration, or you created a new market segmentation, which resulted in X, Y, Z. So having clear metrics that are quantifiable will really differentiate you between the hundreds of other applicants. And it's really important to be writing in past tense, and no longer are we including references.
Amazing. So in a nutshell, Trisha told you that how you can produce your CV. I'm sure that if anyone further will be interested to learn about it, they can approach on impressivecv.com, which is website where Trisha will be able to help you out. She's having a lot of services, paid services, and she can offer you some consultations. She can help you to write your LinkedIn profile and other things. Yes, Trisha, you have something?
Yeah, I was going to say, I do have, so it is a paid consultation, but I've got lots of free templates, samples, e-guide. There's so much free resources that you can go and download. I'm here to help you. So go and check them out on the website. You'll find them in the top bar under resources.
Amazing. One question I think, so Trisha, I should ask you, which was just popping up in my mind. What are the deal-making or breaking elements when we are talking about the job hunt? Like what kind of mistakes people make, and what type of things, like quicker things which recruiters can notice immediately, starting from receiving their CV or starting from taking them on telephone. So what are those pieces of, like maybe 2-3 things if you want to tell, which can either make the deal, people can land to job, or if they will not do those particular steps or things, it can break the deal and they will lose this opportunity.
So 3 things probably that I would like to highlight. As you probably know, I'm very short and direct to the point, by the way. I'm not usually one to elaborate, but it's so important not to be using the one resume for every application. I can't stress that enough. You must read the keywords that are being requested from you. The second thing is that I receive a lot of emails saying, "Dear Trisha, please find attached my CV," and then there's nothing actually attached, or they've attached not even the resume. I think it's so important to be proofreading what you're actually sending. You know, you're not just copying and pasting the body of the email and sending it to everyone. And my third thing is I'm noticing a lot, which is such a basic error, is the subject line is left empty. When you're emailing me, there's literally nothing in the subject, or there's nothing relating to the job that you're applying for. It's such a basic thing, and yet so many people just don't even enter anything in the subject line.
Great. Here's a question for you from Kamar. He's asking that he has done BScs, having 14 years working with good companies back in Pakistan. He's considering to move to UAE. Any suggestions?
Good question. So make sure you've got a strong CV, a strong LinkedIn profile, and a strong network. So again, start reaching out to people and companies now and begin in engagement conversations, getting a feel for the market, what positions are going to be open, salary expectations. So you don't want to be getting here, you know, thinking that you're going to get 10,000 dirham a month or whatever, and you're only getting 2. So be clearly mapping out and putting in a roadmap to show on what you're going to be doing. Not only that, but what will you do if you don't get a job? So how long are you going to stay here for? Are you giving yourself 3 months or 3 weeks? Because to be honest, Dubai is actually a very expensive place to live. So yes, maybe everyone does have good salaries compared to where you're coming from, but the cost of living here is quite high. And even now that we're going through COVID and all this economic downturn, the prices of food, for example, have really significantly increased. Now, you probably don't think of that as a job seeker. You just want the job, but you're going to burn through a lot of savings if you haven't planned ahead.
It's true. If you are, so what do you think that which will be the right time that should people just hold on for a couple of months and after that plan, or even though we are having now summers and we have seen this thing, the summers are a little bit slow period in the town. So in generally, we do not see a lot of activities of hiring is happening in the town, and especially now when the COVID is also here. So what do you recommend to these people who are thinking to come to Dubai? What will be the best time to come in order to search the job? And in the meantime, what they should start preparing today, sitting in their home country?
Yeah, good question. So I'm honest, I'm not a pessimist at all, really. I'm a very optimistic person usually. I'm quite bubbly and friendly. But my honest and humble opinion is it's not a good time to come. And someone else may have a different opinion, but I would be saving your money when, in terms of flights over here, accommodation, food, etc., cost of living. Saving it for when there is a clear roadmap again, or a clear opportunity. Perhaps after the summer, exactly what you said, and maybe before the next Ramadan, because obviously once Ramadan hits again, the period slows down. So I would just be waiting until there's more clarity, and in the meantime, upskill yourself. Find out your own weaknesses. Have a look at those sectors that are going to be hiring in the coming months. So like I mentioned before, sort of the biomedical industry, the computer systems, social media, analytics, for example, healthcare, software development. Look at those types of roles so that you are fully prepared and equipped with the tools, so that when the system's ready to accept candidates, you will be a great fit.
That's brilliant. Coming back to Nosheen, Nosheen, we are seeing that across the world that job market and the trends are changing. Like we are moving towards the gig economy. Organizations are reluctant to hire people for the full time, but they just want to hire for the project base, for the assignment base. But at the same time, we are seeing a lot of people who are professional. They instead of working for full time for one organization, they are working for multiple organizations. So how do you see all these trends in Pakistan? And what do you recommend to these people who are watching this webinar, that what should they do? Should they just keep on hunting one good job and just keep on wasting their time? Maybe it will take 6 months or 1 year unless they will do great efforts and they will reach to their job. Or they should also consider some small assignment based work in order to meet their both ends, but in the same time keep on learning and then land to their job. So what do you advise to these people?
My advice, like looking at the current Pakistani businesses situation, of course, we can't expect the businesses to, get back from all the revenue loss that they have faced in the last 4 or 5 months to start fully operating at their full potential right away. It will take them time, and the businesses are opening up slowly. But there are a few sectors, as I told earlier, that on the logistics side, in our industry, like I work in Korean industry. Here we are expanding a lot. Like the COD business has expanded a lot. The companies, like the food companies, there are many people who have been able to support their families through Food Panda during the pandemic period, because Food Panda is offering the services to the people cooking at home, that they can avail the services of Food Panda and deliver food to the people who required. And since there were more and more people who were sitting at home, so they were ordering more, even more than when they were going to the offices, because when they were sitting with the families and everybody was involved, then automatically the family entertainment time was also increasing. And there are many people who had run their homes through Food Panda during this pandemic time. And there are many companies that have started COD business side during the pandemic, right? and their business has expanded a lot because the companies were required to follow the SOPs, and one of the SOP for all the businesses during pandemic was that they'll be delivering through some courier company, and many of the small businesses, even they got their businesses aligned with a courier company for delivering the products that they were providing to people. Similarly, the social media, the companies had to start their pages. There are companies who would have registered with the RAS, or some of the big companies that are already working in online e-commerce businesses, and there are many that are upcoming as well. In like a few of the big companies, there are e-commerce platforms that are being established at the moment. There are people establishing e-commerce platforms from their homes at the moment. I had 2 3 colleagues who are sharing posts from their own companies that they have started recently. So there are areas where the businesses are growing, and people do need to understand the requirements of changing economy within the within the country. And once you start understanding that, you can ultimately land new opportunities. People are switching the industries. There are many banking people who had moved from banking to the new microfinancing divisions that are being established. People are moving to COD businesses now because they know that is an expanding area and the business is growing in that side as well. So opportunities would come up ultimately, but it will take time. So till then, it's not right that you suffer yourself, and you let the people that relate to you suffer them as well. Because if you are a student and you have passed out, my suggestion is that you should take any opportunity that you get at the time moment, and you should keep exploring the opportunities that you want to get into on the side. Like, start getting into the businesses, start creating your own ideas. I really like it when I get CVs from the youngsters, and they've mentioned that they've spent 6 months or 1 year doing their own business. And sometimes when I forwarded those profiles to our directors or senior managers, they really want to keep those people who were doing something of their own, because they say if they were generating ideas of their own and working, then they might be able to help us in the business as well. Because we being a business, we need people who can generate ideas for the business and help us create new avenues in our business. Because there are divisions that we know we have to close down. So when one division close, if there is a good idea and we know we can start a new division, then automatically the business can grow in that line as well. So the youngsters should really start taking some risk and move into their own business side as well.
Perfect. That's amazing. Trisha, how do you see the future of overall job industry? Because let's be honest and be optimistic. We know that economic situation or circumstances is going to come back. Things will be on the track. Maybe there will be few changes overall in the industry, but economy, but the businesses and all the financial sectors, everything will be on track. Maybe it will take 6 months or 3 months or 9 months. Who knows about it? But what do you see that what is the future of job market? There are going to be more salaries-based jobs. There are going to be more gigs, or there are going to be more assignment-based jobs. So what people are, especially I'm talking about the youngsters who are just starting their career, or maybe it was their first job which they have just lost now, and then after that now pandemic and all situation. What they should have expectation from the future? What should be the jobs look like?
Mm. It's a good question, and definitely the job market will return. Definitely, I mean, look at all the governments trying to put a lot of stimulus back into the economy to try and get people working. So it will return definitely. We just need to know when. But I think as a graduate, I would definitely be looking, and I think James and opinion, but a lot of remote work. So, for example, we used to heavily fly, we used to rely on having to fly people for hiring. But now, technology, a lot of your Zoom platforms, etc., Microsoft Teams, you could work remotely, which then opens the door for talented graduates, or any graduate, to be honest. You don't even have to be extremely talented, to be working for companies, Australia, New Zealand, when you're living in Pakistan or India. I think that it won't restrict employment now that technology will be implemented. It's just a matter of showcasing your personal brand. And I think that's what graduates need to really focus on. How can you sell yourself from a digital perspective now that we won't be having many face-to-face interviews?
Amazing. So in case you are having, anyone is having any additional question, please throw it towards us so that our panelists, our experts could answer your question related to how the economy is going to work now, is working now or in future. What will be the job market look like? So how do you, probably my last question to Noshin, how do you see the value of soft skills when people are searching jobs, especially about the leadership, creativity, problem solving, communication, presentation, so on. I'm sure that there's a long list, but what weightage do you give when you are evaluating the CV or interviewing some candidate?
Soft skills matter for some positions a lot. Like there are positions, there are positions where people have to communicate a lot. So when you're looking, I have this one example that I'd like to share once. When I was working for the consulting company, we had this one position for a certain paint company, and they were looking for profiles from Peshawar. And you must know, like being from Pakistan, that the kind of culture that we have in Peshawar. The people are a bit casual if we talk about the uh, official cultures, or how you deal in offices, and the formal that we follow in offices. That is not the kind of culture that people in Peshawar are very much used to. So the area manager of that company had shortlisted three people from Peshawar, and they had to visit head office, and they were told that they had to visit on Friday, and candidates were visiting from Peshawar directly. They were reaching before the Juma prayers, and they were going to be interviewed after the Juma prayer. And one of the candidates, he went to the interview venue with the same dress code that he went for the Juma prayer. Now when he was interviewed after that, the manager from the company called me up, and he was like, no, Asheen, what kind of person have you sent for the interview? Our like director was sitting in the interview, and that person came in his slippers for the interview. And what kind of impression that would make on the director, that what kind of consulting company we are working with, that they are sending the candidates of this sort. I was like, your area manager was interviewing these people in Peshawar, and he should have, guided the candidates. And since, I was myself new in the industry, I had no idea that, I'll have to counsel the candidate on that as well, that he shouldn't be wearing slippers to the interview. But he did that. And when he did, I realized how important it was to, guide the candidates for the final round of interviews, how they have to, present themselves, how they have to deal in the interview, and what they have to talk about. Similarly, sometimes when the candidates come in, they don't know what kind of job role this is for which they are coming up. They don't know what is the company's business for which they are appearing for an interview. But they'll ask the recruiter why you have rejected my profile. But when you ask them that, why you came for the interview, they have no reply to that. Similarly, when I sometimes think that people say that, they should be getting feedback. And I sometimes wonder that if we'll start providing the genuine feedbacks on everything, what would be anyone left with, what energy people would be left with, or what confidence they would be left with, if they are told at every single point what mistakes they have made. But being recruiters, you have to be on the soft side. You have to make them realize things from a positive aspect. So I do, try to counsel and guide my candidates from time to time that, this is the expectation of the role. And when you're coming in for an interview, we do want to know that, how much you are interested in joining our company. What do you know about us? But many of the candidates, they just don't prepare. They don't even know the difference between a logistics and a distribution company. And they'll be sitting in the interview, and they'll be telling you that I'm really interested in your company. And they'll talk about the distribution side of the business. And then we'll have to tell them that, okay, this is not the distribution side, this is the courier side of the business, and we are a very different model. So when you are coming in for the interview, you should have, learned about it us as well, because this is the company where you applied for. So that is a very important point that candidates miss. especially the young people when they come in for the interviews. Since they are new to the industry, and since in Pakistan we don't have any career counseling, so many of the students when they come in for the job interviews, they don't have any idea about what kind of business or industry they have targeted or they are right now. What is the business of this office? And I was personally very interested to start some career counseling or something of the sort, a platform for young students where they learn about how they have to come for the interviews and how they have to prepare for that. Unfortunately I couldn't proceed with that, but I'm very interested to do something of the sort for young students and conduct some career counseling sessions, all that. Apart from that, of course, the soft skills, your writing, everything matters when you come for a job. And more importantly, the punctuality, the time at which you show up for the interview. Sometimes interviews are aligned with the senior management, and people are coming in late, and they give you time after 1 week for 15 or 20, and then the candidates come in and they have to go somewhere, or there is some other meeting that has been aligned and they miss the interview. Then they'll tell you that we had this problem and that problem. Then you tell them that you should have told even if you have an issue, it's not a problem that you want to reschedule. You should call in at least 30 minutes to 1 hour earlier and tell the recruiter that you are not able to make it. Sometimes people do that they'll think if I'll tell the recruiter that I need a reschedule, they probably won't let me get interviewed again. So what they do is they wait for the moment when the interview was scheduled, and when that time comes and you call them that where you are, then they'll tell you that okay, I have this problem, please realign it or do something, I'll come at another time. So those are the problems that you have to tackle before the interview, not at the time of interview. So candidates need to understand these things as well, that it's very important, and recruiters and the managers, they actually take pointers on all these things, how you are dealing with the recruiter, how you are dealing with the management.
Great. Thank you so much, Noshin, for your time and the last piece of advice which you have given, especially about the soft skills, about the punctuality, about keeping open, honest communication when you are looking for a job. And when you're talking about the career counseling, since many months, since last months, I will say that since this pandemic situation is, I'm interacting with a lot of students, a lot of professionals from Pakistan, and I can clearly feel myself in your shoes, that how the behavior of people is and how literally they take for granted all these soft skills, which are very, very much important. I always tell to people that please, when you spend a huge amount of money, some universities spend 1 million rupees, Pakistani rupees, to get their bachelor's or master's degree. So if you can spend this much big amount of money in order to get your qualification, then spend some amount sitting with your career advisor, counselor, who will further teach you how you can prepare for the going forward your practical career, how you can prepare for the job hunt, how you can prepare for the interview, how you can prepare and equip yourself with some basic soft skills, which are literally missing a lot, because people, as I said, they just take it for granted. People don't even think those skills are important. And unfortunately, in school, college, or universities, all the technical knowledge related to accounting, finance, engineering, medical, mathematics, sciences, that's given to the students. But what is lacking, that's only lacking, is about soft skills. So thank you so much, Noshin, for pointing out this thing. I truly appreciate your time. Let's see that what Trisha has as a last, and always it is said that best is at the last. So what she has last piece of advice for everyone who is still watching?
I think stay positive, don't give up, find your own weaknesses and turn them into strengths, and I guess use your network to the best of your ability.
That's brilliant. I have done 2 sessions already with Trisha Chapman. One was about writing and winning our impressive CV. You can find it on my YouTube channel. And I've done 1 session to prepare for your job interview. Those were amazing. And I think so I will say that those who are going in the highest rank of viewers on my channel. So anyone who is interested to see that what should be an impressive CV, where all the sections, like she has segregated all the section and she has given the tips, go back to my channel and you can watch. But if still you are having any question, you can follow Trisha Chapman on LinkedIn, or you can go simply on her website, which is impressivecv.com. You can find a lot of free of cost resources. By the same time, you might get some small, it's not a huge amount. You have to pay some small cost to get some premium services. So if you are looking for a job, if you want to write impressive CV, she's the best resource person in the town, which I can say that yes, she's going to help you a lot. Thank you so much, Trisha, for your time. It was amazing with you. Your contribution is valuable, and I'm sure that it's going to help everyone. Thank you very much, Noshin, also for joining us. You gave those things which I personally, sitting here in Dubai, I'm missing that kind of information, and a lot of people who contact me from Pakistan. So I think so from the point of view of a recruiter, the information which you have given, that's amazing, that's valuable. Thank you very much for both of you for joining me today.
Thank you. It was very nice.
Thank you very much, everyone, for joining me today. In case you are having any question, please feel free to send me on contact@masohail, SOHAIL.com. You can follow me on LinkedIn, which is with my name, Muhammad Adnan Sohail. You can follow me on my Facebook page, which is Adnan Sohail, Education and Career Advisor. In case you are having any question related to your education and career and job search, just let us know. Thank you very much for staying connected. I'll be happy to take your questions in the comment section, even if you're watching this session later. Thanks a lot, and good night from our side.